Hi guys, this is Vineet and I welcome you to this video. Today's video topic is file restores under the full recovery model. Here we are referring to the full recovery model of the database inside SQL Server. So we will teach you how you can do file restores under the full recovery model in SQL Server. So let me take you to notes, but before I do that, I would like you to subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button coming below this video. Let me show you how to subscribe quickly. And this is my channel page link. This one is my channel page link. You can write down the same link in your browser window, or you can find the channel link in the video description area coming below my video. There's a video description area through which you can copy out the link and paste it in your browser window like this. I've copied the link. Let me paste it here quickly. So this will take you to my channel page. So here you can subscribe to my channel. So you need to click on the subscribe button here and you can select all notifications to get all the notifications regarding my future and upcoming videos. Now let me unsubscribe for a while. You don't have to unsubscribe it, but I'm unsubscribing it. Now, if you go to my channel page, the other way to subscribe is to open any video. If you open any video, for example, I've opened this video. Just below this video, you can see this area, right? And with my channel name written over here and subscribe button coming next to it. You need to, in order to subscribe, you need to click on the subscribe button. And again, you need to click on the drop down and select all notifications to get notifications regarding my future and upcoming video. Let me go back to my channel page quickly. So we have an offer going on if you subscribe to my channel, and this is for first 100 subscriber. These 100 subscribers will get read-only access to my full documentation notes library on my Google Drive. And in order to avail this offer, you can fill out one of the forms. Let me take you to Notepad++ file. This is the link given in the video description area. You can open out that link, fill up the form. Right? You need to send me an email as well with the proof of subscription. And I've shown you the steps on how to subscribe. You can take a screenshot after subscribing to my channel. And the screenshot you need is from this area basically. Either you can take it from this area. You can subscribe from this side and take a screenshot, right? Using the snipping tool, you can take a screenshot here like this. Take a screenshot of this area to indicate to me that you have subscribed to my channel. Send that over to me over my email address. You can send that to me on my email address so that I have proof of subscription. Second way you can subscribe is if you have opened any video, right? Just right under the video, if you are unsubscribed, right, you will see the subscribe button. You need to click on the subscribe button and select all notifications, and you need to take the screenshot using the snipping tool. Take the screenshot like this and send it to me over to my email address so that I can have a proof of subscription. Once you send that email to me, and I can send you the link to the form, but right below this video you can also have that form link. So let me take you to Notepad++. So this is the subscriber registration form. So let me open up this link. You need to fill out the form like this. Once you open this link, it will show you a form. You need to specify your name, right? So write in your complete name, right? And provide your email address. Let me put in my address, for example. Put in your email address and put in your phone number. Please make sure to mention the correct phone number and specify the subscription domain. In our case, it should be SQL Server only. So right now we only have notes available for SQL Server. And for free of cost subscription, what you need to do is you need to select the first option where we are providing you 1 month free subscription to my docs library, right? And for this, you need to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and send me the subscription proof screenshot basically to my email address. And my email address is either you can use this email address as well, or I will share my email address shortly. This is my email address to which you can send the screenshot separately. And right now we are just providing 1 month subscription to first 100 subscribers, and your subscription may remain valid for the first month only. And thereafter, if you want to further subscribe, you need to either opt for 3 month, 6 month, or 12 month subscription, which has the payment of 500, 700, and 1200 respectively. If you want to opt for paid subscription, you need to select that option. So once you submit the form, I will send you the payment link to make the payment, and I will activate your subscription, where you will get the subscription to my doc library. So I'm posting the all of my documents over here, right, on my Google Drive. So I will give you the access to my library. So right now I've posted only few of the documents, but yeah, there are many more. So we have 67 docs under the backup and recovery area, or backup and restore area. Apart from that, I will also post in the notes for database design area, which is outside of business continuity. So under business continuity, we have backup and restore. So I will give access to this folder so you can read all the notes in sequence. For example, the notes for this video I've posted under file restores under the full recovery model. You can find the notes here. You can check them out by double clicking on them. The notes are already posted here. You can read through them. You will get the notes handy. So please see what subscription you want to opt for. Yeah, for first 100 subscriber, we are giving 1 month of subscription free of cost. For that, you need to select that option and submit the form. So once I get your submission, I will add you to the drive list. And once you open your Google Drive, you can see the documents that are shared with you under the shared with me option. I'm not seeing anything because no one has shared anything with me. So I will provide you access. Once you get the access, you will see the documents under shared with me folder if you go to your Google Drive folder. So that's it. That is how you can subscribe, fill in the subscriber registration form. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe to my channel and post in the subscriber registration form, and I will proceed accordingly. Let's go back to today's topic, which is file restores under the full recovery model in SQL Server. And if we talk about this article is relevant to the databases that contain multiple files or file groups under the full or bulk log recovery model. Now, in a file restore, the goal is to restore one or more files or damaged files basically without restoring the whole database. So in case we are using our database and one of the files under any particular file group becomes damaged, so the goal of the file restore process is to restore that one particular damaged file. Now, file restore scenario consists of the single restore sequence that copies, roll forwards, and recovers the appropriate data. So there is only a single restore sequence where we restore the damaged file, and we roll forward any transaction logs by applying the backup of the transaction log, or by restoring the backup of the transaction log. We roll forward that data and we recover the appropriate data as well. Now, if the file group being restored is read write file group, so under the read-only model, under the simple recovery model, what we saw is that we can restore only the read-only file groups, right? But under the full recovery model, we can restore the files under read-write file groups as well. So this is what we are discussing right now. So if the file group being restored is a read-write file group, for example, a primary file group is a read-write file group. If we are restoring a file group that is read-write file group, an unbroken chain of log backups must be required and should be applied after the last data or differential backup is restored. So in the case of file backups as well, you can take differential backup in the cases of file backup as well, right? So once you restore the file and once you have applied the differential backup, any log backups that you have taken must be restored. This brings the file groups forward to the log records in the current active log records in the log file. So the basic purpose of applying the log backup is that it brings the file groups forward to the log records in the current active log records in the log file. And the recovery point is typically near the end of the log, but not necessarily. Now let me talk about the file restore scenarios. These file restore scenarios are as follows. One thing is that we can do the offline file restore. Now in an offline file restore, your database remains offline while the damaged files or file groups are being restored. So your database becomes offline if you're doing offline file restore. And at the end of the restore sequence, your database comes online. There's another method as well, which is online file restore. Now, in an online file restore, your database remains online during the restoration time, and it remains online during the file restore process. However, each file group in which the file is being restored remains offline during the restore operation. Now, after all the files in the offline file group are recovered, the file group also becomes automatically online. Now, if you want the database to be offline for a file restore, you can take it explicitly offline. So if you want that your database should be in offline state while you are restoring the file backups, you can take the database offline before you start the restore sequence by executing the following statement, T-SQL statement. To take your database offline, you can execute this statement, alter database, and the statement is alter database, your database name, and you can set the offline flag to make it offline. Now let me discuss the restoring damaged file from file backup sequence basically. Now before you restore one or more damaged files, attempt to create a tail log backup. So in case one of your file becomes damaged and you want to restore that file, so what we would suggest is to first create a tail log backup. Now if your log has also been damaged, a tail log backup cannot be created and you must restore the whole database. So in case you are not able to take the tail log backup, we would recommend using the restoring the whole database instead of doing the file restore. So only in the cases where the possibility of taking tail log backup is there, you can do a file restore. Otherwise, don't perform file restore. Try instead restoring the whole database. Now, there's an important point to be discussed. For an offline file restore, you must always take a tail log backup before the file restore. That's the absolute requirement for doing a file restore. You should take a tail log backup. For an online file restore, you must always take the log backup after the file restore. So there are two scenarios. In case your database is offline, right? Or if you are attempting an offline file restore, you must take the tail log backup during that time before the file restore process, right? But if you're doing an online file restore where your database is online, you must always take a log backup after you restore the file. So in both the process, the procedure is different. In the case of offline databases, if your database is offline and if you're doing the file restore, first take the tail log backup. But if your database is online, you must first restore the file and after that you can take the log backup. And this log backup is basically necessary and allows for the file to be recovered to a state consistent with the rest of the database. So yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, first step is to restore each damaged file from the most recent file backup of that file. So whatever file is damaged in your database, what you will do, you will restore from the most recent file backup of that file. So you take file backups at periodical basis. On a periodical basis, you take at regular intervals. So whatever recent backup you have, you can restore the damaged file from that particular backup or recent backup. And after restoring the file, you restore the most recent differential file backup if you have taken any for the restore file. So first restore the file from the backup, most recent full backup of the file, and then you can restore the most recent differential file backup. And the next point is that you can restore transaction log backups in sequence. So if you are taking the transaction log backups, you can restore that in sequence. And taking transaction log backups is only possible in the case of a full recovery model, not in the simple recovery model. So if you have taken any transaction log backups, you should restore that those backups in sequence. And starting with the backup that covers the oldest of the restored files, right? And ending with the tail log backup created in step A. Last of all, we restore the tail log backup. Once you restore all the transaction log backups, lastly, restore the tail log backup. And you must restore the transaction log backups that were created after the file backup. So this is important point. So you must restore any transaction log backups that are created after the file backup to bring the database to a consistent state. And the transaction log backups can be rolled forward quickly because only the changes that apply to the restore files are applied. Now, restoring individual files can be better than restoring the whole database. So this is one of the important points. So This is a quick process. If you want to restore any individual files, it's always better than restoring the whole database, because restoration of whole database takes quite a lot of time. But instead, if you are doing the file restore, it can be done quickly. So we always prefer doing file restore, because undamaged files are not copied and then roll forward. However, the whole chain of log backups still has to be read. Lastly, we recover the database, and file backups can be used to restore database to an earlier point in time as well. So we can do a point in time restore as well if we have file backups. And to do this, you must restore a complete set of file backups and then restore any transaction log backups in sequence to reach a target point, that is, after the end of the most recent restored file backup. Now let's talk about transact SQL restore sequence for an offline file restore in under the full recovery model. Let's talk about that. Let's discuss on the transact SQL steps to perform an offline file restore under the full recovery model. What should be those steps? We will discuss it with the help of an example. Now, file restore scenario consists of a single restore sequence that copies, roll forward, and recover the appropriate data. And the following sample restore sequence shows an offline restore of two secondary files. So in the below example, what we are discussing about an offline restore of two secondary files. A and B are the two secondary files, and we are discussing an offline restore of that. And we are using the with no recovery clause so that your database should not get fully recovered once we restore these files. Next, we have two log backups that are being applied with no recovery. And finally, we are applying the tail log backup, and that is this is restored using with recovery. So tail log backup is always applied with the with recovery option to fully recover the database. So this is the transact SQL syntax. So if we first alter the database, whatever your database name is, then we are setting a particular file to be offline. So we are taking that particular file offline instead of offline. Whatever file is damaged, we are taking that file offline. So this is the parameters you need to specify. So you need to specify the modify file parameter and set it offline. After that, we will take the tail log backup. So we backup the currently active transaction log. So in order to do that, you execute the following statements: backup log, database name, to specify the to disk. You can also specify the location where you want to take the tail log backup. Otherwise, if you are taking to already existing tail log backup, you can specify that as well, and you do take that backup with no recovery. So after taking the tail log backup, we basically restore the files. So in order to restore the file, we do a restore database, and we specify the name of the database. We can specify the file name as well, which we want to restore, and we specify the backup set through which we want to restore this particular file, and we use the no recovery clause with no recovery to basically keep the database in not recovered state. And similarly, we can restore another file as well, and this is from a separate backup set. This is backup set A and this is backup set B. And finally, we restore the log backup. So for that, we need to do restore. We need to specify the following statement. So here we are restoring two log backups. The statement for the which is restore log database name from log backup with no recovery. Similarly, we can restore the another log file. Finally, we are restoring the tail log backup which we had taken earlier. So in order to restore that, use the same statement: restore log database name from tail log backup, and this time we will use with recovery to finally recover the database. Now let me take you through some example. Example 3, if we talk about, we have already covered that in one of my videos. Let me show you, which is offline file restore of primary and one other file group. So let me show you, it should be on my channel page. So there's a search button over here. So you can type offline restore, and you can check the name of the video of primary. Just type this and press enter to do a search. So this is the video, you can watch it through. And this is covering the example third. So I'm not discussing example third over here, right? For that, you can watch this video, offline restore of primary and one other file group. And let me take you back. So we will be discussing example 1 and example 2. So let's go on with example 1, which is online restore of a read write file, right? So under the full recovery models. Okay, so let me discuss on the online restore of read write file basically under the full recovery model. So let me copy it out onto a notepad plus plus screen. Let me paste this topic. So here we are discussing this example. So here we are discussing about an online restore of a read only of a read write file. So in this case, our file is a read write file, not a read only file. And we are using the full recovery model. Here we are assuming that we have a full recovery model. And basically, if we talk about this example is relevant for the SQL Server databases under the full recovery model that contain multiple files or file groups. Now, in this example, let's take we have a database name ADB. So let's take a database name which is ADB. This uses a recovery model. Let's mention the recovery model of this database as the full recovery model. So this one is using the full recovery model. It contains basically three file groups. One is file group A, second is file group B, and we have file group C. So let's talk about file groups it has. So we have file group A, and we have file group B, and we have file group C. We have three file groups here, right? And let's talk about these individual file groups. So let's talk about file group A. What is file group A? So file group A is a read-write file group. So a read-write file group can have files through on which we can read and write tables, right? So we can perform writing on these file groups and files, whatever the tables are hosted on that file group, we can write to them. So this is a read-write file group. And if we talk about the other two file groups, in our case, file group B and file group C, let's take them as the read-only file groups. So let's take them as read-only. So any files present under the read-only file groups are read-only files, and basically we can only read from these file groups. We cannot write any data out to these file groups. Now let's talk about an hypothetical scenario. So let's take a scenario here. In this scenario, there's a file A1 under file group A, which is a read-write file group. So we have this file under the file group A, and this file is damaged. So this scenario occurs that your file becomes damaged. The A1 file under the file group A becomes damaged. And at this point, your database administrator, or maybe you, if not your database administrator, decides to restore it while the database remains online. So in case you want to keep your database online, and if you want to perform any restore, you don't have to take a tail log backup. That is only required if you are taking your database offline or if you are taking your file group offline. So let's talk about this scenario here. Our database will remain online, right? And one of our file is damaged, which is file A1 under the file group A, which is a read-write file group, and that file becomes damaged, and our database administrator has decided to restore that file. And if we talk about the simple recovery model, but here we are using the full recovery model, but just we are talking about the simple recovery model. So if we are using the simple recovery model, online restore of read-write data is not allowed. So we cannot restore the read-write data in an online mode if we are using the simple file group. Now let's talk about the restore sequence, how our restore should be done. Let's look into the restore sequence. What should be our restore sequence? So what should be your first step? So first of all, we will do online restore of file A, file A1, which is damaged, right? So how to do that? You need to execute the following SQL statements. You can write that along with me. So in order to do that, you can need to do so write the restore keyword. You need to restore the database. This is the syntax. And database name here is ADB, which is mentioned over here, right? Use the restore database ADB syntax, and after that you can specify the file name which you want to restore. So file name here is A1, so specify that in quotes. Next, specify the file or the backup from which you want to restore. If you want to specify the file name, you can specify the disk file and specify the location of that backup file. Otherwise, you can specify the database backup name where your database backup is there, right? Specify that database backup name, and you need to restore it with no recovery. So use the with no recovery clause here. So this is your first step that you should be executing. So first of all, we are restoring the file with no recovery from a backup. Now, once we do that, so at this point, if we talk about your file A1 is in the restoring state, written on the wrong line. So if we talk at this point, your file A1 is in restoring state because we have used the no recovery clause. So it will show us the restoring state against the file, right? Now let's come to second point. Up till so far, we have just restored the file using the syntax given above. Next, what we will do. So after you restore the file, right? At this point, file is restored. We need to take a new log backup. So you see in this scenario, we are not taking the tail log backup, but we are taking the log backup after we have restored the file. So after you restore the file, take a new log backup to basically make sure that the point at which, let me make it to next line. So take the log backup to basically make sure that the point at which the file went offline is captured. So basically why we are taking this tail log backup, basically to capture the point when your file went offline. So basically to capture that point, we are taking a log backup. So how to take a log backup? You need to use the backup log statement to take the log backup. And specify the name of the database and specify the to clause where you want to take the backup, to disk or to someplace else. Let's take it into log backup 3. You can specify the name of the backup, existing backup set. You can specify that, or you can specify the name of the disk file where you want to take the backup. So second step is complete. Third step would be to do the online restore of log backups. So if you have any log backups at this point, you will restore that. So basically you restore all the log backups taken since the restored file backup. So any backups taken after the restored file backup, you will restore all those log backups, and you should end it with the latest log backup that you have taken. So what is the latest log backup we have taken? We have taken log backup 3. So we will end it with the latest log backup. In our case, it's log backup 3, right? And taken in the previous step, right? All right. And after the last log backup is restored, so once you restore the last log backup, what do you need to do? Your database is recovered. So at this point, your database will get recovered. All right. So you can take the screenshot of this notes if you like. So here we are discussing one of the examples with the following criteria and following scenario. And we are discussing about the restore sequence. So lastly, we will restore the log backup 3, which we had taken earlier, right? And your database will get recovered at this point. So let me discuss the syntax. So for example, after this file backup, we had taken the 2 log backups earlier. And this is the recent one we have taken. So prior to that, we have log backup 1, log backup 2. And this one is becoming a log backup 3. Let's restore all these backups. So in order to restore the transaction log backups, just do a restore log and name of the database, and you are restoring it from the log backups. So first we are taking the log backup 1, and we will use with no recovery. At this point, we don't want to recover, right? And similarly, you can use the same statement, restore log, name of the database, and from specify the log backup. And this time we are restoring it from log backup 2 in sequence with no recovery, right? And now let's restore the last log backup which we had taken after restoring the file backup. We have taken the log backup 3. Let's restore that log backup. So do a restore log adb and from specify the log backup 3 from which we want to restore. And we are still restoring it with no recovery. And lastly, what we will do, we will finally recover the database. For that, you need to restore your database adb with recovery. So that will bring your file group online. All right. So this is the syntax to be used, and these are the sequence of steps. You can take a screenshot. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is the restore sequence. Take a screenshot of this, and this is the example that we have discussed, right? I hope you have taken the screenshots. This is example. This is restore sequence. Take the screenshot. Now let me discuss about another example. So for first example is done. Let's discuss one more example. So let's go back to example 2. Let's copy it out, put it in the notepad++. Let's discuss on this example. First of all, we had discussed the example online restore of a read-write file group under the full recovery model. This time we are doing an online restore of a read-only file group, right, under the full recovery model. Now in this particular example, this is relevant for SQL Server databases under the full recovery model that contains multiple files or file groups. Now, again in this example, let's capture the same item. We are using the database ADB. Let's try to paste in there. All right, so database name will remain the same. And this one is using the full recovery model. That is also same. And it contains the 3 file groups, right? File A is a read-write file group, right? Same scenario. And file B and file C are read-only file group. And initially all of the file groups are online. All of our file groups are online. Okay. So this was the initial scenario. And what happened after that is, now let's talk about the scenario here, right? Let's discuss on this scenario. Now the scenario is that there's a read-only file B1 in file group B of database CDB, right? Has to be restored because it has damaged. Let's try to restore that file. This time, this is a read-only file B1 under the file group B, not N. That has to be restored. So we have taken a backup. A backup was taken since the file became read-only. So there's only a single backup that was taken after the file became read-only. Basically the backup of that file. Therefore, log backups are not required. So log backups are not required in the case of read-only files, right? These are only required in the case of read-write files. We don't have to restore any log backups. So therefore, log backups are not required. If we talk about file group B is offline for the duration of the restore. So once we start performing the restore, your file group B will remain offline. So during the duration of the restore, it will remain offline. But the if we talk about the rest of your database, if we talk about the remainder of the database, it remains online. All right. So whatever file group we are restoring or the file we are restoring under a particular file group, that particular file group will remain offline, but not the complete database. The rest of the database will remain online. Now let's talk about the restore sequence. Now to restore that particular file which is read only, right? So to restore the file, the database administrator uses the following restore sequence. So let me show you the sequence that has to be used. So there is only a single T-SQL statement that you need to execute because we are not restoring any transaction log backup. So you need to do a restore database, name of the database, and you need to specify the name of the file you are restoring. In our case, the file name is B1 that got damaged that we are restoring. And you need to specify the backup. So this time we are restoring it from a file group backup. Maybe file group B backup we have. Let's restore that file from that particular file group B backup. And we are restoring it with the recovery because there are no more database backups to be restored. So we are finally restoring it with the recovery. So this is the syntax that you should be using. And this example is also done. Here we have performed online restore of a read-only file under the full recovery model. This was the parameters. These were the parameters, and this was the scenario, and this is the restore sequence. I hope you have taken the screenshot. If not, watch the video again and take the screenshot. So let me take you back to my slide. So we are done with all the three examples. Today we have discussed the topic. We have discussed about the file restores under the full recovery model. We have discussed about both the restoration of a read-write file and a read-only file. And I hope you like this video, guys. And basically, if you like this video, please click on the like button and please subscribe to my channel as well. So we have an offer going on if you subscribe to my channel, and this is for first 100 subscriber. These 100 subscribers will get read-only access to my full documentation notes library on my Google Drive. And in order to avail this offer, you can fill out one of the forms. Let me take you to Notepad++ file. This is the link given in the video description area. You can open out that link, fill up the form. Right, you need to send me an email as well with the proof of subscription. And I've shown you the steps on how to subscribe. You can take a screenshot after subscribing to my channel, right? And the screenshot you need is from this area basically. Either you can take it from this area. You can subscribe from this side and take a screenshot, right? Using the snipping tool, you can take a screenshot here like this. Take a screenshot of this area to indicate to me that you have subscribed to my channel. Send that over to me over my email address. You can send that to me on my email address so that I have proof of subscription. Second way you can subscribe is if you have opened any video, right? Just right under the video, if you are unsubscribed, right, you will see the subscribe button. You need to click on the subscribe button and select all notifications, and you need to take the screenshot using the snipping tool. Take the screenshot like this and send it to me over to my email address so that I can have a proof of subscription. Once you send that email to me, and I can send you the link to the form, but right below this video you can also have that form link. So let me take you to Notepad++. So this is the subscriber registration form. So let me open up this link. You need to fill out the form like this. Once you open this link, it will show you a form. You need to specify your name, right? So write in your complete name, right? And provide your email address. Let me put in my address, for example. Put in your email address and put in your phone number. Please make sure to mention the correct phone number and specify the subscription domain. In our case, it should be SQL Server only. So right now we only have notes available for SQL Server. And for free of cost subscription, what you need to do is you need to select the first option where we are providing you 1 month free subscription to my docs library, right? And for this you need to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and send me the subscription proof screenshot basically to my email address. And my email address is either you can use this email address as well, or I will share my email address shortly. This is my email address to which you can send the screenshot separately. And right now we are just providing 1 month subscription to first 100 subscribers, and your subscription may remain valid for the first month only. And thereafter, if you want to further subscribe, you need to either opt for 3 month, 6 month, or 12-month subscription, which has the payment of 500, 700, and 1200 respectively. If you want to opt for paid subscription, you need to select that option. So once you submit the form, I will send you the payment link to make the payment, and I will activate your subscription where you will get the subscription to my doc library. So I'm posting all of my documents over here, right? on my Google Drive. So I will give you the access to my library. So right now I've posted only few of the documents, but yeah, there are many more. So we have 67 docs under the backup and recovery area or backup and restore area. Apart from that, I will also post in the notes for database design area, which is outside of business continuity. So under business continuity, we have backup and restore. So I will give access to this folder so you can read all the notes in sequence. For example, the notes for this video I've posted under file restores under the full recovery model. You can find the notes here. You can check them out by double clicking on them. The notes are already posted here. You can read through them. You will get the notes handy. So please see what subscription you want to opt for. Yeah, for first 100 subscriber, we are giving 1 month of subscription free of cost. For that, you need to select that option and submit the form. So once I get your submission, I will add you to the drive list. And once you open your Google Drive, you can see the documents that are shared with you under the shared with me option. I'm not seeing anything because no one has shared anything with me. So I will provide you access. Once you get the access, you will see the documents under shared with me folder. If you go to your Google Drive folder. So that's it. That is how you can subscribe, fill in the subscriber registration form. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe to my channel and post in the subscriber registration form, and I will proceed accordingly. Now let's come back to slide. So I hope you have already subscribed by now and send me the screenshot as well along with the subscriber registration form. And the link for the subscriber registration form is also available in the video description area. If you check the video description area for this video, you will find the subscriber registration form. Please open that link and fill that out once you send me the proof of subscription in order to get the free subscription for 1 month to the doc library. If you want to go for paid subscription, please go ahead and do that. So you can send me the proof of subscription over to these two email addresses. You can send the proof of subscription to either of the email addresses. And you can contact me for below requirements as well in case you need a copy of the notes. So you will automatically get access to the notes once you are a subscriber and you have filled in the subscriber registration form. You will get all the notes related to all the videos. And right now we are not providing the copy of SQL codes and scripts. We will start that shortly. If you want to schedule one-to-one calls with me, you can do that. So just send me an email to my email address and I will send you the instructions accordingly. And this will be paid calls. So any one-to-one calls, either 30-minute call or a 1 hour call will be a paid call. And if you want to do any SQL consultation with me, that is also paid. For that, you can send me an email. For any SQL troubleshooting, you can send me an email. All these are paid options. And if you want me to analyze any of your transact SQL code, you can do that. That will also be a paid option. And if you can collaborate with me for any content creation or any brand promotion, you can send me an email over to my email addresses. So I thank you for your time on this video today, guys, and you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.